Welcome to the Greater Than Business podcast, where it's all about creating an amazingly successful business without sacrificing your quality of life, because life should be greater than business. And now, here is your host, Courtney Bedore.
This is episode 36 of the Greater Than Business podcast, and today we are going to be talking all about the different types of content that you should be creating. So this one is going to touch on 10 different types of content that you can create in your business to drive new leads, new traffic, new people into your business, and basically get some buzz going around about your business, and creating content that will drive people back to your website or back to your business in some way. So I've come up with 10 different types of content that you should consider in your business and that you should be creating. And it kind of covers all different types of content. So you don't need to necessarily create all 10, but it'll give you some ideas to get things going and to get you thinking about creating consistent content, because it's all about consistency when it comes to content marketing, as well as creating any sort of online business. It's all about consistency. So if you've ever seen someone that appears to be an overnight success online, it's generally not because they just appeared overnight out of nowhere. It's the fact that they may start appearing everywhere that you go. Therefore, in your mind, it seems like they just appeared overnight and they must be successful because you're seeing them everywhere. But the thing is that you're seeing them everywhere because they are very consistent with their content. And the more consistent you are with your content and the more that you're putting out there, the more likely it is that people are going to get eyes on you. Therefore, you kind of will become an overnight success, because all of a sudden, if you're creating really good quality content that's getting shared and spread all around everywhere, then obviously you are going to find success. Now, it's not going to be overnight. It's not easy. It's not simple. Do not take that away from what I just said. It's going to involve a lot of strategy, a lot of hard work, a lot of time, and a lot of knowledge. But it is possible to get it out there and become successful after doing the work. So, without further ado, I'm going to get into the 10 different types of content that you should be creating in your business. And you can take from this list what you want. You don't have to do it all, but at least do something. So the first one is blogs and vlogs. Obviously, those two are huge. So if you have a website, you should have a blog. If you have a website, you should have some sort of content going out every single week, at least once a week. So blogs are kind of the go-to industry standard that help with Google rankings and all of that other fun stuff to get your message seen by more people. So if you don't have a blog on your website, I highly recommend setting one up. And it doesn't need to be something that you post on consistently, but it should be something that you do have. And you should have another form of content that is a consistent content if you are not doing blogs. So, for example, myself, I don't do blogs. I find writing very daunting. I don't find it fun. But I don't know how else to share what I want to say sometimes unless I write it down. Because I have a podcast, obviously that is my desired way that I feel like I want to share content this way, because I can talk. I'm comfortable talking. I'm comfortable doing interviews. I am comfortable basically doing this. Podcasting is comfortable for me. Writing blogs is not. But there are some times where I want to get a point across and I know that I can't do it correctly through podcasting. So I have a blog up on my site and it's not updated regularly, but it's still there and it's updated. And I try to be as consistent as possible with it. I fail, it happens, but at least I know that I am still producing consistent content with my podcast. So that is kind of why I allow myself to slip up on the blog just a little bit. And on my site, my blog is also a vlog. So sometimes there's videos that I create that I want to put up on my website and share tutorials basically with you guys. And that is the best way for me to do it. So I kind of have a blog vlog thing going on, but that is a consideration for you guys as well, because you can easily create a blog. And if writing is something that really is easy for you, then share your content through writing. And if it's not, like me, then at least still set up a blog, but contribute to it when you can. And in the meantime, contribute or put your content and share your message in another way from the rest of this list that feels more comfortable for you. So the second thing is videos on social media. So whether that be on YouTube, Facebook, Pinterest, I guess Pinterest doesn't really do videos, but Instagram does videos, IGTV, all of that fun stuff. Videos on social media are huge. Another thing that I want to just kind of add in here is, please, if you are going to spend hours producing videos, please put captions at the bottom, because there are times when I'm flipping through Instagram or Twitter or Facebook and I can't turn up my volume on my phone. And I know because of the algorithms, I'm never going to see this post again, and I'm never going to be able to figure out how I saw it in the first place. And if I can't turn on the volume, then I'd like to be able to read the captions. And trust me, it's one of those easiest things that you can do, and it makes the biggest difference in your business. So if you can and you are creating videos, please put captions. Trust me, you'll love it. But anyways, back to the main thing I was talking about is videos on social media. Videos are being shared so much more frequently on social media. They are the best way of getting your point across, getting your messages out there, and really being able to have a relationship with your tribe and who is following you. And that is one of the greatest ways to bring in new people too, because people are more likely to share a video over sharing a 3,000 word post or whatever it is that you might be also producing. So videos are key. If you can be as consistent as possible with your videos on social media, that is going to really help your business. It's not necessarily something that you need to do every week, but if you could kind of get into a habit of at least doing it on some platform on a consistent basis, then you will start to see drastic results. So I highly, highly recommend videos on social media. The third one is infographics and images. So this would be something more that you would use on a platform like Instagram or Pinterest, possibly Twitter and Facebook, but this is more for people that really want to bring in new people from Pinterest and from Instagram. So if you can create knowledge-based infographics and knowledge-based images that are shareable, then that is really beneficial to your business. And that is the type of content that people want to see. So think about basically anything on Pinterest. Go through, look at people, what they're posting, the type of infographics that they're making, and then obviously make them your own. Don't copy theirs, but make sure that you kind of see the structure, the format, and what's working for people that are creating images and infographics that are going around out there and going semi-viral, because they will spread around very, very quickly if you do it the right way. Make sure that whatever you're putting out there is something that is your own, and facts and all of that other stuff can be supported by other sources, but you want to make sure that you're not just taking other people's facts and regurgitating them on your own platform. So you want to make sure that you're sharing things that are your own in your own business. So that is kind of the biggest tip that I can give there, is make sure that whatever you're sharing is your own, because don't be gross. Don't be one of those people that just copies other people's stuff online, because that's not cool. Okay, number 4 is interviews. So whether you do them audio or video or whichever way you want to do it, doing interviews with either your clients or your colleagues, they can be huge, because not only are you going to be exposing yourself to your own audience, but you're also going to be able to get whoever you're interviewing to share with their audience as well. So doing interviews from time to time is an amazing way of building your brand, as well as building your following, as well as building your credibility. So interviews are an amazing way to really get your content out there and to build that bigger and better following by creating content that is shareable. So that is one of the big things I want you to take from this, is make sure that everything is really shareable, because that is how you are going to go from a little business to a bigger business, by sharing, because that is how word of mouth is your greatest asset in any business. And online, the equivalent of word of mouth is sharing. So keep that in mind at all times. The 5th way is creating GIFs and memes. And I've probably said that wrong, because I think there's 30 different ways to say GIFs. There's 30 different ways to say memes, but that is how I say it. Maybe it's because I'm Canadian. I don't know. I don't know how you say it. Email me in and let me know if I said it wrong. But regardless, those 2 things are what are going, not viral necessarily right now. This is not a podcast on how to create viral content. This is basically just saying these are things that people are using right now. So if you've got a fun little GIF that you could make, or a fun little meme that relates to your business, then by all means, try it out, see how it goes. Obviously, make sure that that type of humor is not being overly offensive, and make sure that your humor is and does resonate with your tribe of people. So make sure that you are targeting your ideal client when creating them, and make sure that you're not doing it in poor taste. That is something that they will not resonate with. So usually go for the lighter side of the humor. Don't go for really dark and scary humor, because that's not going to necessarily translate very well with a lot of people, especially if you are in a professional business setting. So just make sure before you do that that you know your audience, and that it is going to be a safe way to create content around that. Okay, so the next one is podcasts or audio files. So there's some of you out there that obviously don't want to do a podcast, and there's obviously some of you out there that wish that they could do a podcast. So for me personally, podcasting is something that I can freely talk. I can get my point across. Sometimes I ramble, but that's just who I am. And if you don't like it, then that's fine. It's my ideal client will like it. So that is why I chose to run a podcast, and why I can do audio files as well. So sometimes on Instagram, Facebook, even YouTube, you can share audio and just give your people a new way to listen to your content. So if you haven't tried either of the two, try and just try it out once or twice. Obviously, don't start a podcast to just try it once or twice, but do audio recordings, see how they go over with your audience, and see if it is something that you would want to invest more time in doing and creating content in that way. So it's a really neat thing to consider. But it's the same as blogging. It's not necessarily right for everybody. So do what feels right for you and do what feels right for your audience and the people that you are trying to attract. So the next one, number 7, is tutorials. So tutorials in business are a big thing. That is a good way, probably the best way, to set yourself up as an expert. If you can create tutorials and share them openly with people, then that establishes you as the expert in that area and allows people to once again share your content, and also creates a way of them learning to trust you a lot faster than something that isn't as beneficial. Like writing a blog post is great on whichever topic it is that you're talking about. But there's sometimes when I'm reading a blog post and I wish that there was more that they could have shown me. Instead of just describing how to do it, sometimes I wish I could be a fly over their shoulder and actually look at what they're teaching me. That is where tutorials come in. So you can either do it as a video, you could do it as an audio, like there's different ways that you can get it out there, but think about doing tutorials as a way of producing content, because tutorials are amazing and they will get you really good traction a lot faster than some other forms of content. So if you don't have any tutorials that you can think of making, sit down and just kind of brainstorm some of the things you do on a day-to-day basis in your business. And if that is something that the rest of basically your tribe will want to know, then create a tutorial around it. Kind of come up with a list and see all the different things that you could potentially be teaching on, and then go from there. So those are, I'm super excited about tutorials as a way of producing content. And I'm actually going to start doing a lot more of those myself, because I think that is the best way to actually truly help people and help you guys as well, is creating quick little short videos to show you how to do something, and specifically not just the concept, but the actual like nitty gritty how to, like, drag this here. This is what you want to do. This is what the page should look like things like that. I sometimes wish that I could have more content like that out in the world. So because I feel like there's a need for it, I'm definitely going to create it for you guys. So if you have any ideas on tutorials that you want to see from me on any topic that I cover, please email me at flow@flowautomationinc.com, and I will be happy to create those tutorials for you. Okay, number 8 is creating ebooks or a physical book. So think about lead magnets and stuff like that you would use to draw in people. What about if you were to use those as another form of content? So creating ebooks, obviously you can have them gated and have people need to opt in for them, but creating those ebooks and physical books are still a way of creating content. You're still taking things that you know and putting it out there into the world. So ebooks obviously have to be a little bit longer than, say, a standard PDF document. And then physical books are kind of a neat thing to get into. I wish I could write a book. I wish that I had the patience and the ability to write a full book where I could just say everything that I've gathered in my brain over the last couple years and just be able to give you like the easy guide to online business. But I can't I'm not comfortable writing. So if I ever do decide to write a book, it will definitely be a ghostwriter helping me because I cannot write. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to consider it. It's still something that I wish I could do, and it's on my plan for the next 5 years. So stay tuned. It may or may not happen. We shall see. But if you are a writer and you really feel like you've got something there, then by all means, create an ebook. Get it out there, and then if your ebook does well, consider turning it into a physical book. Self-publishing a physical book is actually a lot easier than you would think. And getting a book deal with even other publishers, that can happen, not easily, but it is something that can happen to regular people just like us. So I've seen it happen with my clients. I've seen people that considered themselves not writers get book deals with some amazing publishers. So by all means, consider writing a book as one of your pieces of content. Obviously, that's not something that you'll be able to do consistently, but what you could do is write it once and then share it consistently. So there's that aspect to it. So you don't necessarily need to reinvent the wheel with content. All you need to do is remember to just recycle it and keep sharing, and then consider the content that you're creating to share your piece of content that you've created once. Consider your posts and things to share it, different pieces of content promoting that one piece of content. So that's a whole other strategy, which I think I might have to do an episode on all by itself. But that's going to be a really neat way of getting your content out there. So number 9 is, I just kind of touched on this a little bit, but PDF downloads. So PDF downloads would be something much smaller than an ebook, because an ebook is essentially just a giant PDF download. But PDF downloads are something more simple, like a checklist or a guide, where you could just give your ideal clients something that is easy to consume, but it's in a physical copy, like a PDF download, versus a blog post where it's housed on your website and they can't really take it home with them. So PDF downloads are something that you are willing to give them, and it's still branded. It still has all of the contact information for you and your business, but it's something that they can take. They can own it, they can print it, they can write on it, you can create workbooks, guidebooks, like all of those fun things. So consider PDF downloads. They are one of my favorite pieces of content to make. If you have signed up for any of my lists so that you can get access to my content libraries, you'll see that I love creating PDF downloads for my ideal clients. And the final one that I want to talk about today is case studies. So these are basically examples of how you work and the success that you've got from your work, and the way that you can show that what you teach actually works. So whatever your business is, you're obviously doing something for your ideal clients. You're teaching them something, you're giving them a skill set, or you're teaching them a method or something along those lines. Like, you're definitely doing something for your ideal clients. And case studies are a way of making the content relevant to your audience, as well as proving the relevancy to your audience. So if you have anyone that you've ever worked with in the past that is kind of your go-to success story, what I want you to consider is approaching them and asking them if it is something that they would consider allowing you to put together a case study on. And then what you do is you basically go back, grab all the data from whatever it is that you help them with, and present it so that other people that may be stuck in that place can then look at this case study and go, oh, okay, wait, if I work with her, I might be able to get those same results. Or if I implement this course, then I might be able to get those same results. And you're basically taking a person who is at point A and showing them if they follow these steps, they'll get to point B. And point B is where their ideal life is at this point. So case studies are phenomenal. You can present a case study in several different content pieces as well. So you could do a blog on it. Then you could do videos on social media. You could create an infographic based upon that case study. You could also interview the person that you had your case study built around. You could do a podcast episode or an audio file. You could make tutorials that go along with your case study. Like you could write a physical book on your case study. You could create PDF downloads. Like you can literally take a case study and turn it into 7 different pieces of content and then share that all around. And then remember, once you've shared it once, then you can just create new ways of sharing that same piece of content. So it becomes an endless cycle of content once you get consistent doing whatever it is that you want to do for your content. So the 10 basically different types of content that I just went over, I really want you to think about which ones you could use consistently, which ones you could use as supplemental, and which ones you would like to try, but you're not 100% sure how they're going to align in your business and where they're going to fit in. So I'm just going to quickly go over that list one more time. If you want a copy of this list, I'm going to create a PDF and I'm going to include it at the bottom of the show notes. And you can find the show notes for this episode at greaterthanbusiness.com/036. And that is where everything is going to be. Anything that I mentioned in this episode will be found there. And I'm going to do the rundown one more time. And then that's it for this episode. So the top 10 different content pieces that you could make are as follows: blogs and vlogs, videos on social media, infographics and images, interviews, GIFs and memes, podcasts or audio files, tutorials, ebook or a physical book, PDF downloads such as checklists and guides, and a case study. So those are my top 10 content ideas that can basically amplify your business and allow you to become the expert in your field by putting yourself out there and consistently creating great content for your audience. So as always, if you have any questions, please shoot me an email. My email address again is flow@flowautomationinc.com. And I hope that you enjoyed this episode, and I will be back next week to talk to you all about my thoughts on launching. So stay tuned for that, and I hope you are having a great week. And until next time, have fun.
Thanks for listening to the Greater Than Business podcast at www.greaterthanbusiness.com.